On 10 June around 10 a.m., I was chatting with my friends about how fun the 2025 general elections are gonna be. In my reasoning, I was thinking it could largely be a three-way race between President Chakwera, President Mutharika, and Vice President Saulos Chilima. Thinking about the complexities of the relationship between these three people, I only really wondered and waited with enthusiasm to see how things would turn out to be. Because, let's face it, Mutharika would need 50 plus 1 to get power, which many doubted if that was possible against an intact Tonse Alliance, which of course has objectively underperformed in contrast to what was expected of them. But they have the damn numbers. So Mutharika would need the Tonse Alliance to break and possibly ally with Dr. Chilima. But then that also kind of brought in a new dilemma. They worked together as president and vice president from 2014 to 2020, and they fell out as Chilima moved on and formed his own party, the UTM. I mean, Chilima actually left the DPP because he wanted to be president, and in a twist of fate, ended up being a vice president for his second term under President Lazarus Chakwera. I don't think he would settle for vice president under Mutharika. And I don't even think that's legally binding for a person to be a vice president for 3 times. And of course, if Chilima wanted to be president, Mutharika would not even be vice president, which actually made the union almost impossible. It was actually during this very morning, before we learned of the missing of the VP's plane, that I continued to think that it was not going to be easy for Chilima to remain in the Tonse Alliance, as it became evident his desire to break away from it, since, as he claimed, the agreement that he had with President Chakwera
amene asogole mu chaka cha 2020 amene osazakhalanso presidential candidate mu chaka cha 2025 koma amene anali running mate mu chaka cha 2020 ndi amene azakhale presidential candidate mu chaka cha 2025 izi zilimo mu agreement imeneyi
had been disrespected and dumped in the dust bins by the MCP.
The Malawi Congress Party does not have in its possession any document that stipulates or points to the sharing of terms between Dr. Lazarus Chakwera and Dr. Saulos Chilima.
That, of course, added to the thrill of next year's election. And of course, my focus came on President Chakwera and how he would need to impress Malawians that he is not a one-term president, and how time was actually running out for him. And then, unfortunately, around 11 a.m., ahead of the tragic news.
Just some news we're following out of Africa tonight. A desperate search for the vice president of Malawi after the plane carrying him and 9 others apparently disappeared. He flew out of the country's capital earlier today, but the government there says his plane never got to where it was going.
The vice president's plane was missing, and I didn't really think hard about it, though it struck deep inside that something bad was going to happen. I just didn't want to believe that he might be dead in a plane crash. In as much as I was never a UTM fan, I loved Chilima's political career personally and his contribution to the Malawian political spectrum. I talked about how the news would change everything if he died. I really worried that, though it would be my first time voting, next year's campaign was never going to be fun anymore without him. But then, it was confirmed.
He's been killed in a plane crash. A short while ago, Lazarus Chakwera went on national television to deliver a somber address.
The search and rescue team has found the aircraft near a hill in the Chikangawa forest, and they have found it completely destroyed with no survivors.
The vice president is dead. But then, this changed everything. Literally everything. His loyalists and even most of us didn't want to believe that he was gone.
tili ndi mafunso ambiri opanda mayankho pa zifukwa izi. Ngozi inachitika 10 koloko pafupi ndi tawa, komanso posatalikirana ndi manyumba a forest ya kwathunga. Ngozi yachitika 10 koloko, uthenga ochokera ku boma umabwera madzulo.
But he surely was normal. The passing of Chilima leaves the race between two giants, President Mutharika and President Chakwera. But another interesting part of this whole thing will eventually be how the power vacuum that was created in Chilima's party will be filled. His vice president, Dr. Michael Usi, was seen as a possible replacement for leader of the UTM party, but there's been growing resentment from most UTM members due to what they see as a betrayal from Dr. Usi. If I follow the news clearly, I understand it's because Usi has not been actively involved in the UTM party, even when Chilima was alive, and many thought that he was actually an MCP spy. Now, as vice president of the country, Dr. Usi will seek to fit in the shoes of the late Chilima, but at the same time, control the party he came from in hopes to keep them in the Tonse Alliance. However, that clearly looks to be a tough job for the comedian come politician, because Chilima said it clearly that he wanted to leave the alliance because of the disagreements that they had. Now that he is dead, it kinda sets the stage for even more drama, as it is very, very uncertain which direction the party goes now that their most eloquent orator and brilliant leader is gone. The DPP was hoping to somehow find an agreement with Chilima in 2025, but now that's also going to be tricky and very, very unlikely. President Mutharika is also faced with criticism for his old age, though I still find him fit enough to take office after listening to a couple of his most recent interviews.
I think I'm strong.
Okay.
I can campaign. I feel very, very strong. I recently had a stress test.
A stress test?
From a cardiologist, yes.
Okay.
And I was told that of the heart of a 19-year-old.
The cardiologist told you you have the heart of a 19-year-old?
Correct.
Okay.
So I'm very strong. I exercise.
You exercise?
Oh, yes.
I've seen some gym equipment.
Indeed.
Yeah.
On a treadmill there. In fact, you can sit from here.
Okay.
Over there.
Yes.
I walk about 10 kilometers a day on the treadmill.
Okay.
Every day.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
So those that are doubting your strength, they should be assured that you are strong and you can manage a hectic campaign.
I think so.
And this has led to the division and subsequent breakaways in the DPP, with some people believing that he must continue with the race and others thinking that he must withdraw from the race. And this includes influential individuals that have broken away and formed their own parties, like Mr. Kondwani Nankuma, and of course not forgetting how UTM actually was formed from the DPP as well in 2018. Dr. Saulos Chilima may be gone, but surely the political stage in this country may remain just as unpredictable and fun and crazy for the average Malawian, and I really can't wait to see how next year's election fares out. See you in the next video, and please subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our uploads.